Okay, folks. Yeah, okay, so I say, so the flow is, what's negate right now is that by Tzias Mitzrayim, now how did he get to Tzias Mitzrayim? Why is he talking about Tzias Mitzrayim? Because Tzias Mitzrayim is integral to the whole building of the Mishkan, Matan Torah, and the Mishkan, when the Avodah of transforming the Sheker and so on begins. And they made the note that everything in Torah, even in Yonim, that are written in Torah before Matan Torah, are also eternal instructions. That's Bechalal, but certainly in this Inyan of Yetzias Mitzrayim, which is all part of the Basi L'Gani, the Shechina returning to the world. So by Yetzias Mitzrayim, Yidden are called for the first time Hashem's host, Tzivos Hashem, or simply Tzivoisam. And later on, that will be addressed, the difference between Stam, Tzivoisam, or Tzivos Hashem. But now the bigger question is the association. Since Yidden are called Adam, Hashem Aldam Elyon, as it says in Shalah, the Yidden are similar in the reflection of Hashem. So the fact that Yidden are called Tzvois or Tzivos Hashem is an association with the name of Hashem, Hashem Tzvokos, or simply Tzvokos. The question, if the Rebbe asks, is basically why are they being associated with that name? As the Rebbe explained in Oisei, that name appears only later. The time of the Nevi'im, Chana was the first person to call Hashem by Hashem Tzvokos, the Lord of Hosts. And the Nevi'im are lower than the Torah. And the Nevuah is lower than Moshe Rabbeinu's Nevuah. On the other hand, he pointed out that the consequence of transgressing the words of a Navi are often more serious, because Misa B'dei Shemayim, that at the hands of heaven, more severe than transgressing a Deiraisa. So there's this tension here that it's lower, it's higher. So, Vayinyinu, the Hinei Pidei Shem Tzvokos, the Gemara says, what does the name Tzvokos mean? In reference to Hashem. In reference to the people, it simply means hosts and lords and legions. Many. Tzvar Shemayim, Hashem made the hosts of heaven to appease the moon, the stars, as Rashi explains, after it was diminished. But that's in reference to people and things. But in reference to Hashem, what does it mean? Says the Gemara, is Oiso B'tzava Shaloi. Oiso, that he stands out, he's assigned literally amongst his hosts. The meaning is explained, the Rebbe from the Alter Rebbe, V'haino, the Tzava is Ribu Anivraim. It implies multiplicity, many, again, legions, hosts, armies, or army. Hashem Tzvokos, so the name Tzvokos then means Oiso B'tzava Shaloi. That within the multiplicity of creation, he is a wonder, he stands out. Not a wonder, he's a sign. Or quite simply, he's present. Meaning, so Tzvokos means then, Alikos Ois, as it's drawn into creation. Zalteb explains Tzvokos, that Tzvokos Eloshen Chayolos, Tzvokos means Chayolos, troops. Who are the troops? Veheim Gedudei Neshamis. Chayolos is soldiers, literally. But Gedudei, troops of Neshamis, Malachim Debriya. We're talking about Neshamis and Malachim as they have descended. Well, Neshamis that they have descended. Malachim only appear to begin with. They only created Ne'ilam HaBriya. There are no Malachim Natzilis, not because they are excluded, because it's an exclusive club. There's no Malachim Natzilis because a Malach is a finite expression of Elikus with high definition. Michol, Gavil, etc. Natzilis is the world of unity. They dissolve there if they would be there. It ceased to exist. So we're talking here about Neshamas, and they descended to the world of Bria, likewise Malachim de Bria. Shemitzad Atzmon, meaning to say, of course they come from the Eibishter, but they themselves, Einon Elikus Klal, referring even to Neshamas. They're not godliness at all. It's a very strong lashon, but that's the reality. We call Olam HaBriya for good reason. Briya means creation. And Yitzira means the formation of that creation. And Asiya means the action of, the actual action of that already Yesh Ma'ayin that starts in the Olam HaBriya. So neshamas, as they descend in Olam HaBriya, already neshamas that are part of creation. The likus, as it were, has become a nivra. Again, not to go into this now, but it needs to be appreciated, and it is negir to the Maimah later, is negir. The following, friends, that neshamas that descended the Olam HaBriya remain a, what's the word I'm looking for? They remain forever an anomaly. Anomaly. There's certain words that just don't roll off the tongue. Anomaly, which means, we said the word, now what does it mean?
Not the norm.
Yeah, something that is completely, not the norm, in this case defies convention completely. And because, on the one hand, the neshama is drawn into Bria, and we're talking about neshamas the bria, not neshamas the atzilas. The us, we're even lower neshamas. And drawn into bria means it's been contained and contracted and formed by Olam HaBriya, which is why he calls it a nivra. Ein an elikus klal. It's become, we are a creation. But the thing about the neshama is that since a neshama, say just briefly, is a chelik alakam yimal mamash kavayochel, a chelik of atzmos kavayochel. Therefore, notwithstanding the way it is formed externally, it retains its essential godly core and essence. And it's atzmisdik essence. So it's never really part of creation. Even though it's in Olam HaBriya. It's really an outsider. And that, of course, carries through all the way down to Olam HaZed, that the Jew is forever the outsider. No matter how much he is integrated in Bechitzonius, he looks Canadian or French or Polish or German. In fact, he speaks German better than the German, and contributes to every aspect of its culture and society and politics and arts, but he's forever the outsider, because he's taken this slabish in Olam HaZeh, but what cannot be repressed as much as he would like to sometimes, or even if he's unaware of it, is the fact that it pulsates from him something which is otherworldly. And of course the paradox is that the Gentile picks it up. There's something unsettling about the Jew and different that makes everybody nervous. So if we don't tell them what it is, and moreover, they're sensing in us that we want something from them, because since the neshama comes down with a mission to make the will of Dira B'tachtonim, we do have designs on the whole world, and that every human being for that matter. So if we don't say what it is, they assume, you want my money, you want my daughter. That's the root of anti-Semitism and the Jewish conspiracy, that it will never go away until we embrace it, that yeah, I do want something for you, and you're right, I am an outsider and I'm a foreigner, I'm a Yid, and I want you to be a Direle Yizbarach, to reflect Hashem's presence by living a godly life, and so on. That's why he puts in brackets, Mitzad Atzman, he's referring to the Neshama. The Mitzad Atzman, as they are in their own consciousness, ain't an elikus klal, but not to say that b'pnimius, b'etzem, of course, he's a Neshama, and a chilik elakami mal mamash. So back to Shem Tzvokos. So Tzvokos means the Eibishter Ois, as he is present, where in creation. Continuing, Vizal, where we have 4 lines on the bottom, right? And herein lies the distinction between Shem Tzvokos and the other names that are not, that once written cannot be erased. So much so that Shem Tzvokos is a machlokes. Is it part of them or not? The end is it is. We'll see why. But it's a debate, and there's a day that says it's not, because for this reason. The Chol, like you learned Barichas in the previous Maimah from the Bittul Rebbe, the Chol Hashem is made in Shabbat Silus. Because all the other names are all referring to Hashem's manifestations as they are on the plane of Atzilus which is not a world of hosts and legions and troops. The opposite. Shalom Ba'achdus, it's a world of unity. He and his life force, or his oil is one. He and his causations, or his kalim, are one. By the way, we have learned that the Diak in Chassidus, this is a lashon in Zohar. Why doesn't it just simply say Ihu, he, Chayoyu v'garamoy chad? His life force and his causations, Oyer and Keli, are one. That's Mavur Barichas and Chassidus. Mashenkein, Shem Tzvoka, Moira leading. So that's what the other names. They're all names of Atzilus, powered by Shem Havaya, which is the essential name. Mashenkein, Shem Tzvoka, Moira leading. So yeah, Kameshendim. Also, Atzilus Gevura. It's the source of it. Gevura in the end is the source of Elam Hazeh. Hashem Elikim as it stands in its the original pristine state is Gevura Atzilus. And from Gevura comes Tzimtzum in the end, Teva. So Mashenkin Shem Tzvakus Meir Al Eidin Sof Kameshanim Shechem Slapesh Bebiyah. But Shem Tzvakus refers to the Eidin Sof. To Hashem as he's drawn and invested in Biyah, Sheheim, Almei, next page. The Pruda, worlds of separation. Nivroim, Nifrodim, separate creations in their own experience. Kamishakosov, as the Pasuk says about the river that flowed from Eden into the garden, the Misham Yipota there, it divided into these four tributaries, and that's the four elements. This is the reason. Right here, that's why there's an opinion, having said that Shem Tzvakas is already a likus, as it is invested, present in creation. So therefore, there's an opinion. It's not just sometimes the Gemara entertains an idea, but the Gemara rejects it. The opinion means that the opinion remains. Halach is not like him, but the opinion remains and remains an opinion that das in Torah. Shetzvakas and Shem Kodesh. That Tzvokes is not a holy name. It's only a reference to Yidden. As a name, it's referring to Yidden, not the Eibishter. And even according to that, the opinion, the Kaimlan that we we endure, that we make endure. That is the halacha, namely Rambam and Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, the Tzvokes Sum Hashem Shenim Chakim the Take. It is one of the 7 sacred names that cannot be erased. In Hashem Zeh, it's not the same as the others. And we'll see, in a sense, greater, lower, but of course, greater. In Hashem Zeh, because it refers to the Likus as is Nimshach and Nivroim. What's the Biur? So it's brought down in Kabbalah. Shem Tzvaka is what? So we just said Elikim is Gvura, Havaya is sometimes Havaya B'chal is Tiferes and Kel is Chesed. So what is Tzvaka is? Well, Netzach v'Hoid, Netzach v'Hoid. So just the literal simple translations as they parallel within the human nefesh, within the nefesh. So Netzach is victory. He's going to talk about this Barichas in the next ois. Yud Aleph, but Rebbe talks about it here now as well. Actually, we should point out, as the Rebbe said in the Fabrengen of Yud Shvat, Tavshin Chav, or the Shabbos after, that when we get to Ois Yud already in the 11th year, it's the Avodah of the 11th year really begins. It's the Shleimus. This year is the Shleimus, everything taught, the summation that is taught in Ois Yud, and what starts really on Yud Shvat, Tavshin Chav, and therefore Tavshin Pei, is really the Avodah of Ois Yud Aleph, which talks there about the soldier on the front line and Netzach. As he says in a moment, let's just define it. What is Netzach? Netzach is victory, meaning to say it's staying power, it's being in the battle until victory is achieved no matter the cost. That's what Netzach means, staying power. Get to the finish line, even to the point of Mesiras Nefesh. And Hoid is submission and bittul, surrender, thanks. So it says, So what? So Netzach v'hoid him levar migufa. Netzach and hoid are literally levar outside of the body of the nefesh. You don't need Netzach and hoid for your. They're not integral. They don't describe your. They're not personality traits. Chesed, Gevura, a kind person, severe person. Netzach isn't an auxiliary trait. It's in order to get what you want. So Netzach kicks in, but it doesn't kick in. And hoid, thank you, it doesn't kick in if someone hasn't given you anything. It's not a trait of the nefesh itself. A trait is a sensitive person, a severe person, compassionate person. The three first midas, chesed, gevura, tiferes, they are the body, the torso of the nefesh. But netzach and hoid are outside the very torso, the body of the nefesh, levar migufa, outside the body, as it were, and they're necessary. To implement, to get to what chesed wants, what gevura wants, what the seichel wants. So you need netzach. You need a healthy dose of humility. Same levar migufa. Thanks, levar migufa hainu shinyonim hu. So even in Atzilus, the spheres now applying it to the Eibishter. Even though Atzilus b'chalal is olam ha'achtus, but still the lower spheres of Netzach v'hoid and Yesod Malchus, all those lower spheres are lebish for Atzilus gufa. They're not for Atzilus itself ki'im. It's all because Atzilus has to be mashpia. That's the point. So it needs these tools. Kim kedei lahamshich beil mizbiach lamata Atzilus. Dr. Ben Tanya gives the whole, spells out very graphically for us, ashba of a father to a son, or a rav to a talmud, and how all of these, you need netzach and hoid and all of these things in the ashba. Netzach is because sometimes he doesn't want to give his son. He has to overcome his own internal obstacles to want to give his son. Right now, for whatever reason, beginning with his son doesn't deserve it. Upon him. So all of these things are all for the sake of ashpa. That's the point. And since what we just told now, that Shem Tzvokes is Netzach v'hoid, so we understand why it's lower than the other Shemas, because the other Shemas are in a gufa of Atzilus, and these are names that exist within Atzilus, but they're really already projecting outwards, as it were, for the purpose of ashpa. Are we clear? What are Netzach v'hoid on the physical body? Hein kloyas yoitzas, the two kidneys that offer advice. Advice, just simply are tools by which we carry out already ideas and feelings. Now, how we're going to get it done? So you need advice when you can. Why do you need advice? Because you're confronting obstacles, large and small. So you need advice to be able to how do you get it accomplished. It's all vis-a-vis the outside. And I cannot tell you what it has to do with the physical kidneys. I don't know if we even know. But at any rate, that's what it is. Maybe someone knows.
Resnick with the Rebbe.
Yeah, you asked him?
Well, he used to walk with the Rebbe. I think, if I'm not mistaken, once mentioned to him how according to medicine, the kidneys give rebels very...
Yeah, well, how? I still don't see how. Okay, how does that work? I was asking. Okay. Resnick, you can you got a shlichus, Ephraim. See if you can get the story and then not the story. I mean, if there's some actual explanation how this works. Talmud that Class Yoit says that how to. The word I'm looking for is not advice, but techniques. In other words, techniques and strategies. How to be mashpia to the son and to the Talmud, the idea or whatever it is, the lesson that the father or the master wants to convey. So it's all for what? For the sake of the recipient. Hence, we understand that tzvaka is therefore on a low level, even in Atzilus. It's a lower level than the other shemus because it's all for the purpose of ashpa. So therefore, understand. Continue understand. Why Shem Tzvokes is not mentioned in Torah, referring to Hashem, but only the Nevi'im. Again, Chana being the first. Moshe Rabbeinu, so he was a neshama, and his conduct in Ilam Hazeh was a neshama. That's what we learned. We just heard the other day on the video. The Rebbe explained that's the reason why Moshe Rabbeinu was a kvad peh, was difficult to speak. It's because he walked around with this tremendous constant bittul to the Eibishter that expressing himself was with great difficulty. And as we see, the Rebbe explains that his difficulty in speaking, actually, going to this, a beautiful Rashi Sikha. But at the end, it's an example of, as he spoke earlier, the Rebbe's Mamshech, the Etzem HaTorah, in all of the levels of Torah, uniting them all. It's all in the Yukim and Rashi, but it all comes out at the end is that we can see Pashat in the story, the narrative, how the bittul of Moshe Rabbeinu intensifies. There's one level of bittul when he first encounters Hashem by the sneh, the burning bush, and then when he actually goes to Parai, even though he was told already that Aaron is your mouthpiece and everything is good, he protests again. He can't do it, but he already protested and got his answer. But if you look at Rashi and the words as Rashi explains the pasuk, it's a new protest and a new answer because it's in a deeper level of bittul. And his ability to speak before it was kind of it was slow. Begashmis and Rashi Biyurim, and now it's garbled. You can't understand what he's saying. In other words, the bittul, comes less articulate. In the Shamba Datzilis, and paradoxically, the bittul happens ever greater as he descends into Mitzrayim. And also, we just heard in the Sikha Sunday night, Hashem min Amayim Mishisiyo, he's called because she drew him from the water. He says, Mayim is Chachma. Mayim goes on Chachma, which is B'chinas Atzilus. Atzilus is Chachma Bittul. Then the Rebbe says another beer that he's called Mayim, he's called Moshe, a beautiful beer, because forever to remember. First of all, she was called by Parai's daughter. Why is it? He has 7 other names. You could see all beautiful names that all refer to his giving of the Torah and other great milas, and he was called Moshe because she drew him from the water. The Rebbe answers should be forever remembered that Moshe Rabbeinu was born. There was a Gzeira on him. He was born in a Gzeira. He himself was targeted, and he was in the water. And by him, and moreover, they didn't say this, but also by him coming out of the water, already he brought salvation for all Jewish children. Because Parai's astrologist said, mission accomplished. Once he was put into the water. They didn't see with clarity that he was on top of the water in a little basket. And that should be forever remembered, that Moshe Rabbeinu himself, that the Nasi Yisrael, is with Eden in the Tzara from the very beginning. His entire being is the matzav of Yidden. I mentioned the word from whom? The sermon that she heard, the cry of a lad. Para. I forgot what it said. I think it was one of the Chassidish, not the Chabad. Because she heard in his cry, the suffering of all children. That's what she heard. That's what she said. It's not just a Jewish child, but a child from the Jews. She heard every Jewish child's cry in the cry of Moshe Rabbeinu. So I made it the convert. That's what the Rebbe is saying here. Upon him that Sikha, here the stress is, here the Nukud is his bittul. Here's another Nukud. Mayim. I'm just showing it because it's very beautiful. So Moshe Rabbeinu, bottom line, was saying is the Madrege of Atzilus. And the Torah which he gave, in other words, the level of Torah which they learned then, is also a level of Torah of Atzilus. The Pasuk says, Zichru Torah Moshe Avdi. Remember that the Torah of Moshe, my servant, it's called the Torah of Moshe, Torah Moshe. It's also the level of Atzilus. That's the level that he revealed. There's low levels of Torah. That's Mishnah, Gemara, etc. Moshe Rabbeinu is Atzilus. And therefore, that's the whole level, that's him, that's the level of Torah he revealed then. And as you noted in the previous Maimer, Doira means a line. There were all neshamas within the neshamas Atzilus. That's why Shem Tzvakas isn't revealed in Torah, because there, at that time, it was a higher Gilui. A world of Achdus. That's what they experienced, the Yidden did, Moshe Rabbeinu did. Of course, there was still free choice. There's either world of Achdus or terrible depravity. Or it's the two extremes, Mitzrayim or the Matzav of Yidden. Geshem Tzvakis made a canal in Tzvak Mishtim Shech Ben Ivrayim. So tzvaka is not mentioned because that's already a lower state of the world, low in the shamas. Shlamata matzilus. Like it says by Yeshua, this is similar. It says by Yeshua, Vayomer, an angel appeared to him and he said to him, Loi, no, I'm not, I forgot, I'm not what, whatever, Ki anisar tzva Hashem, ata bosi. I'm not your enemy?
I think you asked him, are you from my enemy?
Yeah, famous quote, are you with me or against me? That's where it comes from. Yeah, you're from us or our enemy? And he says, no, I am, in fact, Sar Tzvo Hashem, a minister, literally, of the hosts of God. Ato now, Basi, I've come. So the question is, now? What does it mean now? Vomer Razal, this is a Gemara. It's a Medrash. Medrash says, Ato Basi, now I've come. I'm communicating to you a malach, that's now. As opposed to what? In contrast, of a Moshe Rabchol Loi Kiblu. That Moshe Rabbeinu did not receive, literally, angels, or didn't want. I think it's a reference here that Hashem said, I'll send you a malach, and Moshe Rabbeinu said, no, we want you. Right? In the whole, after the whole Chata Egel, that whole dialogue there. Moshe Rabbeinu, direct communication from Hashem. Why? Moshe Rabbeinu, his time is compared to Moshe Rabbeinu was faced like the sun, as opposed to Yeshua like the moon. I'm Shachas B'chinas Atzilus. The sun is a incarnation of Atzilus. So this is a whole higher level. Mashenkin Yeshua is like the moon, a reflection of the sun. And Moshe Rabbeinu's wars, not like Yeshua, led by an angel. This is by the Yamsuf, Hashem will fight for you, be silent. And that's why Vizehu, we find that the miracles there were revealed completely beyond nature. Meaning, they're not even a garment, not you're engaging in a war, and you're victorious. But at least there's the levush hateva you're fighting. If it was all the Eibusha directly, it's Mitzrayim, Kriyas Yamsuf. Because the Neshama is through the Eibusha is revealed completely higher than Teva B'chinas Atzilus, and there's no levushim of Teva necessary, and things are taken care of. Was after these talkers, now there's a Yeridah of the Neshamas, and Anhag is to Yeshua, and the face of Yeshua is compared to Kibnei Levana, like the face of the moon. And the Oz, Dafke Bos Satzva Avayas. And now Likus is coming in a much more finite way, invested in creation through the agency of a Malach. And as the pasuk, the Medrash says, Ato, now Dafke Bosi. It wasn't true of your master, who that generation was the level of Atzilus, but not now, no longer. Hagam Shegamos, and even then, by Yeshua, that the Milchama was through the angel. But there was also miracles. Answer, not the same. He said, just pointed out, because I read it further. The Milchamas was somewhat invested in the realms and the laws of nature. Unlike the Milchama of Moshe, completely high, they wish to fight for you. Conclusion, and this is Shem Tzvokos. That this is the Avodah that's drawn down through the Nevi'im. Lower world, the lower generation, lower Neshamas Oiso, but Tzava Shaloi. This is Oiso, the Eibishter, as he's present, invested within his hosts, in the world of multiplicity and duality and division. Meaning, but what's the whole Avodah, the big Chiddush? That also in Biyah, Tzava, here Ois, there should be the Ois, who is Barech, Mamish B'Tzava Shaloi, that the Eibush himself should be drawn and revealed in his army. Shagam B'Biyah here, Yivagamayim Chad, Kamay Batzilus. What is concluding? Continue tomorrow just with a mashal. I think I said here a simple mashal to explain the difference between Atzilus and Biyah. It's the same painting, the same glorious painting with incredible beauty and talent and chokhmah and emotion and everything else. I mention these deliberately because all the spheres. So scenario one is, so you're looking at the painting. Scenario one is the painter is standing there. So the painter is standing there and you're looking in awe and wonder of the painting. Not lost on the viewer is the artist. You're in awe of the artist as you are through inseparably from his handiwork. Mashenkin, if the artist is not there, so you're impressed with the artist. You know, of course, it comes from the artist. Nobody knows it didn't appear by itself, but that's not what what you're taken by, and that's biyah. So the avodah of the Nevi'im is that notwithstanding that they wish to make a tzimtzum, and there is a helen v'hester, and the author is not obvious to be able to look. This requires avodah. In Atzilus there's no avodah, but in biyah starts avodah. To be able to look at the painting, look at the world and everything, and see the author of it all, in every moment and every aspect of creation, and that is avodah. And that's the chiddush of the Nevi'im. L'chayda, what comes out is, he never spells out the answer, but l'chayda, the question is, but this is good, it's their avodah, but that wasn't the avodah of what? Of Yidden by Yisas Yitzias Mitzrayim. They were holding by the avodah, they were at the level of Neshamas Datzilas. So why are they called Tzivoisam and Tzivisavai? So l'chayda comes out the end from the Maimorim that they're kind of being told then that this is not the Tachlis avodah. There's going to be a descent, and you're going to go into Chisol, into Olamas beyond, Neshamas will descend, and we're saying that here's the mandate right now. The mandate is to bring what you're experiencing now, the heights of Matan Torah and Kriyas Yamsuf, which by the way didn't last because it wasn't through Avodah, but then to bring that into Welt. So it's stamped on them already, the beginning of our shlichus and the formation of our people. That seems to be the explanation, the general explanation. We continue with Hashem tomorrow.